All right, welcome back. In our last video blog, we were talking about bread and also about linguistic funny money. I invited you to ponder how the words that are inside of us with our native language are ones that seem real to us, and we're not really sure that even if there's another word in another language for the same object, that it really means that. Now, those of you that have more than one language background or have learned something thoroughly and fluent in it, ponder over again how your understanding of words varies according to the languages that you've learned and the order that you've learned them in. And do you even know the same words in the different languages that you know? Or do they vary according to the environmental practices? Indeed, the cultural environment was something else we talked about. Again, the bread that we buy in the United States or that I've made here is very different from the loaf of bread that appeared in the bakery in my father's Dalmatian fishing village. So there's a different taste, a different look, a different environment. And I invited you last time to think about words like that, or to find words like that, or to talk to friends about words like that, where the cultural environment is different with the word. Now today, let's go a little bit deeper, one more step deeper, and that is cultural practices. I'm going to tell you a story about bread. When I was in the 11th grade American history class, we took a field trip to Williamsburg. And on the way to Williamsburg, we had our brown paper bag lunches. And when we stopped at a picnic area, all of us kids got out. We all sat with each other on picnic tables, chattering away. And I noticed that standing near to us, but kind of looking around and not really focusing on one table in particular, was our teacher. Our teacher said out loud to no one in particular, mostly himself, but he was close enough that I could hear him. In my culture, we only break bread with friends. You are my friends, so I will sit with you. And he sat down at our table. He had to think through whether or not we were friends enough to break bread. Our teacher was from Lebanon. And in the Middle East, the nature of bread, the role it plays with trust, hospitality, friendship, it's huge. So my invitation this time is to think either experiences that you yourself have had, or potentially talking to a friend that you know, or looking it up on the internet. See if you can find some culturally, environmentally interesting expressions of cultural practice. Here's one more example to get you on your way. When I did go to Dalmatia for the first time, I was a young person. We all got together at our grandmother's kitchen table. All of the relatives were invited and some of her dearest friends to come and see her son and granddaughter come. Big crowd was there. Everybody sat down to a wonderful meal. We all picked up our utensils to start, and everything came to a dead stop. That was because I had picked up my fork with my left hand. I'm a strong left-hander. The look on everyone's faces, they stared at me, then they looked and stared at my grandmother. She pondered over something, and then she said, in the Croatian I did not yet understand, "This is my granddaughter, and therefore it is okay. We may eat." Because, in fact, my using my left hand to begin eating meant that I was, well, if you translate English left to Latin, sinister. You see the cultural practice connotation of that word. Evil. It was impossible for my grandmother to believe her granddaughter evil, so she declared me clean, and from there on I was able to eat, around in the village anyway, with my left hand. I'm not sure what impression I made anywhere else. So here's my invitation again. Take a look at the words, take a look at their environments, and take a look at the cultural practices around words. Express and expand your knowledge of how words work in the world. It's fascinating, and I invite you to join me in that journey.